Ooh,
Did you hear that?
I've never heard that before.
Awesome. Hello, all. Welcome to Black Girl in the World. If you don't know me, you will. And if you do, welcome back. So excited to have you all listening. I hope your day is going well. Happy fall. It is spooky season and I love it. Today's guest is a friend of mine from high school. He has a drive like no other when it comes on to playing instruments, and he bakes. What is there not to love? He goes to Morgan State, and I'm so proud to have him here. Welcome, Micah. How are you today?
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. First thing foremost, because I want this on the record, I love you.
I love you too.
Wanted that recorded.
Aw, you're the sweetest. And see, many of y'all don't know this, but I call Micah Uncle Snookums. And I wonder if you remember why I called you that.
I don't remember why. I kind of just started going with it. I was like, okay, this is cool.
So basically, I think we were in a iMessage group chat and you took a screenshot, I think, of what your father said to you. And he was like the sweetest man, the sweetest father I've ever seen. He was talking about how proud he was of him and that he loved him, and it was almost animated, and I thought it was so adorable and so cute. And you also gave uncle vibes, so I was just like, Uncle Snookums, that is you.
I know I regularly used to send screenshots of stuff my dad texts me. So now we're in this is a nice little sidebar. Now we're in like a family group chat with my dad and my sister and my brother, and he sends like TikToks like every day.
Is he aware? You know how parents aren't really aware that you have to tell them hey, this is not the meaning of what you think. Don't send us this.
No, he pretty much gets it.
That's funny. That's so cute. Is it funny? Is it funny TikToks?
Yeah, it'll be funny TikToks, and then it'll say, hey, this is your sister. Hey, this is your little brother.
That's so adorable. I love it. Please continue sending me screenshots though, because I think your family is one of the cutest set of people ever.
I try. We try.
All right. So in this episode, we were back and forth with what we wanted to talk about, and I think this is definitely something that we both had an interest in, and it's a show called The Good Place. You care to I guess make a little summary about what The Good Place was about?
Sure, why not? The Good Place aired on NBC. I want to say maybe it just ended a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Still in my dorm. Aired on NBC. It's a show about 4 people navigating through the afterlife when they find out that one of them is not meant to be in that show's sort of heaven-like area. So it's about those 4 characters trying to navigate and figure out how they can keep their friend in that place without letting the higher-ups know. And then as the seasons progress, there's sort of different obstacles that they have to overcome. And then the plot points, I'll give the show that is that I don't really think I've seen too many other shows where the plot point seriously changes after the first season.
Right. I agree.
But yeah, that's my little paragraph about it.
I love it. And at first the first season gave me a certain vibe where it's I don't think this show's gonna last long. I don't know if you had that feeling, the first couple of episodes. I was scared because I'm this is entertaining, but will it continue? Will it be able to end the way it should be?
Towards, I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
Oh no, it's fine.
I got that feeling towards maybe like around, I think towards the end of the second season or so, where I was just like, oh, excuse me. Oh, God.
Are you okay?
I just eating dinner, so I'm like...
Oh, it's all right. It's fine.
But I was like, what are they gonna do after this? And that's why I was just like, this was also another show where I just kind of wondered, how are they gonna keep making this interesting after this season? And then I blinked and I watched all the way through to the end of season 4, and I was like, okay, that was a really great show.
Yes, that's exactly how I felt, because especially things like those shows where it comes on to death, where it comes on to the afterlife, they kept it running and made so many plot twists where it's like, dang, there's a reason why, because if they kept it at the good place, because there was many different settings on the show, if they kept it where everything was good, everything was fine, you could think about something that you wanted and you get it, it wouldn't have lasted long. But they added certain twists and turns where it's like, nah, this ain't the actual good place. Like this is a place where chaos happens, and there's more chaos than you think. Right. And they ended up going back on the earth and experiencing life like that. And it's like they kept on doing it for years and years, like so many years you don't even realize it. It feels like they were doing all of this in 1 year.
I'm sorry, to say like a spoiler warning or something.
Oh.
Didn't watch the show yet.
Oh, listen. Listen.
I know it's been out for like, the show has been done for almost a year, if not a year by now. But I still like to have spoiler warnings for things, simply because I'm also a person who is typically late to watching something.
I completely understand. I think this whole episode here is a spoiler alert, because
we finish the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to, like as the listeners, if you guys, don't care, like you're just curious about what we're talking about, and it's like, okay, well, this show might be something on my list, so feel free to watch it. If you feel like, hey, I want to watch The Good Place and then I'll listen to this episode, you can do that too. So you can be in on the conversation. But yes, this is a spoiler alert episode, and I should have said that earlier. But I'll put it on my title and in the description, so you guys don't get shook when you hear spoilers.
True.
But yes, I really love The Good Place. The characters, the character development. Is there anything that you want to elaborate on in terms of the character development?
One thing I would like to say, they very easily could have kept it at a show where it would have just been Eleanor, who, for people who haven't seen it, is the character where they find out she's not supposed to be in the good place. They could have kept it as a show where for the next 5 or 6 seasons, it's just about her trying to avoid being sent back to the bad place.
Right.
Sent to the bad place.
Mm-hmm.
But each season, they constantly switch it up on you. Whereas, like, at one point, it's her not trying to get sent to the bad place. And that plot point only lasts for, like, 2/3 of the first season. Then you find out this is actually the bad place. They're trying to rework the point system that gets people sent to the good place. Like, they definitely like change up the formula a lot on the show.
I agree wholeheartedly. And And it's not even because Eleanor had some major character developments, but some things that you tend to realize is that even though she feels out of place because she's actively saying, hey, like, I don't belong here, she ends up finding people, Chidi, Jason, Tahani, that are in the good place, that I guess gave off that persona that they deserve to be, right? Mm-hmm. And then you later find out, yeah, none of these boys they got some really, there's some work, there's a lot of work, and they do it together. Like, there's never an episode where you see them clown the other person. They're all friends. They've tried to make sure that, okay, if this person's going down, we're going down with them.
Right.
And I think that was truly beautiful to show just how much a group of friends can, affect you in a way where it's like, if it wasn't without that group, what would Eleanor be?
Mm-hmm. I think Eleanor, being the main character, she had a lot of character growth throughout the series.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, because I told you earlier, I just watched up to episode 8 of the first season. Okay. She was racist in the beginning episode. I was like, okay.
Really?
I completely forgot that was there.
I thought she was heavy on curse words.
That too. She was just not the best person.
Jeez.
It was racist. It was
that's not funny. But
it's like that microaggression racism.
Okay, I see.
It's the stuff that's built into people without them knowing that it's overtly racist. It was Chidi asked her what country was he from, and her response was, would it be racist if I said Africa?
Okay. Yeah, she definitely she had a loose mouth for sure.
Right.
And racist, heavy racist. Okay.
She definitely tightened up by the end of the series.
Wholeheartedly. She kind of had to, because if we're being honest here, the friends that she had, they were all from a different background, different culture, whether it's a different country, a different side of the streets, whatever it was. She had to tighten up and really think, okay, not everyone's gonna be like me, because who she hung out with on Earth were just like her, to the point where at first she was cool with it, okay, things didn't kill me this time, let me do things right. And she ended up realizing that the friends that were on Earth aren't her true friends.
Right.
So yeah, she needed that one for sure. I didn't even notice that. Jeez.
I've said this over and over again. For some reason, white sitcoms that get made just have to have something to do with race in the first 2 episodes of the series.
You think so?
I know so. It's in everything. Remember have you watched The Office?
Yeah, I have.
The Diversity Day episode, that's the second episode of the first season.
Did I see that one? Oh, was it the one where they had the names on their heads? One was Jamaican, another. Yeah. Okay, yes, I know that one.
Where Michael Scott starts doing a Chris Rock comedy routine.
Oh Lord.
White sitcoms just have to have something to do with race in it, whether it's an episode centered around race or it's some type of one-off comment. And I'm telling you this, and go back and watch the first 2-3 episodes of pick any show off of Netflix that aired on NBC or anything like that. I know there's a complete sidebar from The Good Place.
No, trust me. It's just you're teaching me something.
But like, just go and watch like the first 2 or 3 episodes, and there's something racist in there. Like Broad City, there's a scene in a convenience store. You ever heard of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes, I have heard that show.
The very first episode, one of the white characters is throwing around the N-word.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like straight, it's like halfway through the episode. And then they're also like scared that one of their white friends is dating a black dude, and they brought him into the bar that they work at.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, it's everywhere.
I think what I've mainly noticed about sitcoms like that is that they don't have enough diversity. You have to, like, it's like they force that one black person in the show.
It's always a token black person in the show.
I'm telling you, it's weird. It's weird to me. And if it's not a token black person, then they, like you said, have to have an episode of race, like somebody dating outside the common white people that are reoccurring on the show, and it's a problem. So I'm definitely gonna do that, watching first 2 episodes or even a season, just to identify, because I never noticed that. I always noticed the token black person, but never noticed the microaggressions.
I think like after I finished The Office and I was moving on to like other shows, I started to like pick that out. It's like when you just start watching enough of that stuff, you realize like what's going on in the first episode of like every show.
And you know what episode, when now that we're speaking on The Office, like there was this particular episode where they were playing basketball. Do you remember that?
God, the basketball episode.
Yes. And literally, like, Michael Scott was making it seem like, you know, he was shooting hoops and doing this and everything. And sometimes he deserved the fouls because he was just like plain old disrespectful. But the dudes, they just so happened to be black and started ganging up on him, right? And demanding that, you know, hey, like, we working, right? Literally three black dudes made it so intimidating for him to say, yeah, we're gonna work. And everybody's just like, are you serious? But
even like before that scene in that episode, like when they're picking out who's gonna play for basketball, Michael is like calling out the people in the office. He's like, Jim, you got your stuff? Yeah, I got my stuff, Mike. And then he goes to Stanley. He's like, Stanley, you'll be playing, of course. And then Stanley's like, what does that mean? What do you mean?
Oh, no.
And it's...
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. And it...
That on... I don't think they do that on... I was about to say, I don't think they do that on Parks and Rec, but they definitely do that on Parks and Rec as well.
I figured. I think I've watched Parks and Rec like a couple times. And I know that that's the kind of comedy I'm into. But I haven't really sat down and really watched Parks and Rec, and I should. But I'm definitely going to, since you mentioned it.
Not a bad show, but when you like things, you should also be able to pick apart and criticize them, because they've got some pretty stupid things in there.
Exactly. And I think that's where you slip up sometimes. And then, like, since we're grown into the simple fact that we have to be very aware, TV shows, just because it's comedy doesn't mean it's good comedy, right? You can't, you shouldn't speak about everything and anything just because you want to get a laugh out of it. Now it's in an awkward position because Parks and Rec was like 2000 and maybe 10?
I think Because it's the same people that did The Office, so I think it was like right after The Office ended, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that in itself speaks so much. I'm not going to say it was accepted, but it was ignored.
It was certainly tolerated.
Yes, it was. Sometimes people just have it pass through them like zoop, and sometimes you have to go back and be like, hold on a second, this man didn't just say that, did he?
Because look, I used to watch the hell out of The Office. That show was tolerated.
Yeah.
People say if they'll throw around the hypothetical like, man, if that show came out today, that joint would be canceled. The Office, that's the only one that I typically ever agree with is like, yeah, if The Office came out today exactly as it is, that joint would not last past like the first 3 seasons.
Jeez. I really, because I know everyone talks about it on Twitter, and we're definitely like talking about another topic, but The Good Place and The Office have similar comedies. Like I think The Good Place is more animated, and like The Office gives off more awkward, like it's in an intimate space because, you know, it's The Office, and a lot of people kind of go through those things, especially when you're, you know, working in a cubicle or you're comfortable with your boss or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But when it comes on to The Office, I know a lot of people love the show. Like a lot of people know like the episodes, and I see them, and it's just like, okay, yeah, I see the hype. I see the hype. But you're right. There are a few shows that's just like, all right, especially when like Michael is so like, people in there are so awkward, or the things that they say, especially when it comes on to women on the show.
Oh my goodness. The Office treats women is so bad.
I know. That I know of.
It's about to be a double feature episode with The Good Place and The Office, the way we're talking about it.
I know. Listen, hey, it's all right with me. We definitely have to talk about these shows because it's like, yo, like.
It happened.
It did happen. And we acknowledge it. We're aware. We can see where they went wrong, and we can see where it's like, okay, I give it to y'all. This is funny.
Like The Office is a very quotable show in a lot of aspects, and you can also say like conversely, like this is not a show that anybody should be watching.
Exactly. You definitely have to. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Should you take it with a grain of salt? Because it's kind of one of those things where it's like you don't want people to see it and do it on the outside. It's a show for a reason. You know, it has that comedic relief to it. As wild as it was, as crazy as it was, that doesn't mean that you go out into your own workplace and do stuff like that because you're so influenced.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Because I know people who do that, and it's just like, no.
Yeah, like, respectfully, no.
With a heart on it, huh?
Yeah, with the heart with the red heart at the end. Mm-hmm. Lord N-O.
Exactly. And I think it also brings me back to talking about people thinking that, oh, if this show came out like now, like on Netflix, like y'all wouldn't make that joint last, right? I also think about Boondocks too, and how people don't seem to realize that show is a whole joke.
Like that. Look.
Like people be really like, yeah, he's speaking true facts. It's like you're a horrible person if you think that.
They be like, yeah, this dude's spitting. Whole time the dude in question is Uncle Ruckus. Like, are you absolutely daft? They'll be like, yeah, maybe this dude is on to something. Counselor. Y'all are taking the worst possible characteristics of these characters and like putting that out in the world. Like, no.
Because they know it's true. They know that this show is speaking to them. So it's just kind of like, yeah, they take a clip out thinking they doing something, posted it on Twitter talking about mood. If you don't delete that,
be like, yeah, this is a vibe.
It's literally a man getting beat.
Right. The vibe in question is Uncle Ruckus holding around a noose.
No.
Micah.
So it's so bad. It's so bad. And
what, you about to say something?
No, I'm not.
I'm sorry. I don't want to like monopolize this conversation.
No, it's okay. Trust me. I love this topic. It's awesome. Please continue.
Because my thing is like when people say this show would not last today, my thing is people tend to group together shows that say and do things for the sake of saying and doing those things, like The Office, where Dwight can come into the office and sexually harass Pam for an entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
But he does anything about that except Jim looking at the camera like a Pez dispenser.
I'm sorry.
Like, he just the camera and has like that little white person thing where they suck their lips in. Like, that is, and that's a perfect example of a show where people do things for the sake of doing them versus the Boondocks. And I don't mean to make it like this is like the epitome of satire, but you know that this show is satire. You know that it's supposed to be taking these base level like assumptions about the characters, dials it up to like 11, and they let them interact with each other. Like, of course it's gonna be really wacky and have like some outlandish things being said.
Right.
But the whole point is that, you know, it's supposed to be making fun of those people. And that's plainly clear throughout the entire show. I don't think there's ever an episode where they drop the ball on that and they accidentally end up having a Dwight moment.
Exactly. Right. I definitely feel like those two shows that we just mentioned, just seeing it from the perspective that you even mentioned, and I'm thinking about it now with The Office, like having those moments, literally that's what people do. You know, like you are, say for instance, you know, how they have some videos of these people doing little pranks and stuff and, you know, wondering what the boyfriend would do, wondering what the girlfriend would do, somebody that likes you, somebody that hung out with you. You tend to see who you're around when people do that. Now, I don't condone it. I don't think it's okay for you to just prank me or grab someone's butt and see like what the boyfriend would do just for laughs and giggles, right? But these things happen. And as bad and as much as we don't want it to, it happens. And what is that person going to do? And it showed. He didn't do anything. He didn't stand his ground. He didn't say, yo, back up, bro. Like, we don't do that to women or whatever the case may be. He allowed it. And a lot of people allow it. And you know, and when it comes on to the Boondocks, we literally see what it would be like if you don't have people trying to trying to tell people, especially like on Twitter. Say for instance, literally the Boondocks, the setting of the show is every toxic person living in the same town. Like literally, like they're all mingling together. Everyone's accepting of one another, whether they're misogynistic, racist. Everyone's living in the town. What would you do if they all lived in one town? Nobody's trying to correct anything. Nobody's saying, hey, let's educate ourselves and do this. Boondocks is literally that. And it showed. And it broadcasted.
It doesn't even like go beyond the town. You have like the three radical personalities, Huey, Riley, and Granddad, just all living in the same house. Like what happens when those three different personalities are in such close quarters with each other?
Right, exactly. And I am so surprised that people didn't even realize it. Like, I had to go back to because at first I didn't like the Boondocks. Like, I didn't think it was my vibe when it came out.
I didn't either.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page. When I was a kid, I think what I'd watch on Robot Chicken, it was, what else? Like those other shows like Loiter Squad. I think it took me a while to watch that show too.
I don't think I ever watched a full episode of Loiter Squad. I've only ever seen clips.
Listen, what I can tell you is that you should watch it. It's good, and I think you would like it. I hope so. Yeah, it will make you laugh for sure. They're so stupid, but it's so nice to see like a group of people just doing dumb stuff. Like, it's not even problem. Well, I gotta check it again, but from what I remembered, it wasn't problematic. It was just, them being goofy.
Right.
That was really it. Like, you already know how Tyler is. So he was just acting stupid. His friends was acting stupid. It was just, but it was nice to see that and have that being, just shown. Like, there's different shows that you can watch that'll make you laugh and giggle. It shows just how expansive the comedy world is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for Boondocks, I actually thought it was real when I was watching it, like maybe in my early, maybe like 13, 14, because I didn't get it. Like, I didn't understand. Didn't want to understand, because I'm like, what reason?
You're not alone, because I certainly didn't understand it.
I think when it came back and people were sharing, the clips and everything, like, yeah, this show coming back, all that stuff, people had to come out and be like, y'all do know Aaron's making jokes, right? Like, this is for laughs and giggles, right? Like, this isn't something you should take to the grave. This is something that you should key because it's funny. Y'all really act like this in real life, and he's making a joke out of y'all. And I was like, maybe I should give this a try. And I went on Hulu and I started watching all the episodes. And I was like, okay, I see what he was doing here. It was, yeah.
It's a great show.
It's a really good show. And just being able to experience such foolishness now, it's like back then you experienced it, but no one was talking about it. Like, I felt like that show was Twitter. Like, any popular thing, it was Obama, BET came out, like, he was knocking them. R. Kelly, you know what I mean? Like, he was knocking them left and right. And
I would have thought about it like that, but you are absolutely right.
Honestly though, like, the jokes he made on the Boondocks is literally the tweets that we be making on a daily basis when something bad happens.
The who draw like the Hotep pictures? I
think so.
It's yes. It's like if you gave one of those dudes a TV show.
Yeah.
Person who made like the edit with Marge Simpson and she's black.
Yeah.
It's like if you gave that guy a TV show.
Exactly. And I had to really think about it, like, hold on a second. we living in this world. People are able to express so much, regardless if it's problematic and you don't want to laugh at it. But my gosh, it is so funny. Just did a TV show. Aaron pushed the limits, and he pushed them. And I think that's something I have to give him props on, because Absolutely. No one else would have done. No one else did it. Like no one else did it, and he was black. I mean, that counts for his own. So he pushed the limits. People were so pissed. He even did Tyler Perry. Like he did a lot of characters.
Those ones got banned. Those episodes are banned.
Did oh yeah, yes.
Those episodes are not allowed to air, and they're not even. You can't even watch them on Hulu. You have to get those. I think HBO Max it's like 2 episodes that got banned. One of them's Tyler Perry. The other one's about BET. You have to watch it on HBO Max to watch those episodes.
How sad is that though? You know what I mean? Like, it's really sad, because it's like, okay, just because you're black doesn't mean you won't get clocked. You know, and he been saw y'all acting like this, and he made a show about it. He made an episode about it, and y'all are upset. Y'all probably won't give him any deals. Won't give him, won't let him slide. Won't give him a platform, because what, y'all are upset? I mean, if it is a show of what it is, and it's supposed to be a joke, I don't think it should be, feeling like, oh, they're degrading us, or he's trying to make us look bad. If it was the show that what it was and wasn't as popular, I don't think they should have had a problem about it if he wasn't telling the truth.
Honestly, when you're a show that's making that's specifically about social commentary and like making fun of those specific personalities, I feel like maybe getting a banned episode or 2 is like a badge of honor. Maybe you're like doing something right. You're like making the right people in the right places very angry.
Exactly. You're right. It should be an honor. You should have been like, thank you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like, hello.
You should have just been like, oh, y'all couldn't handle this one? Bet. Let me head back to the stew. Let me pen this one out real quick.
Listen. And he really did, though. He really did. I mean, he came out with some other episodes. I don't really know where it lied between BET and Tyler. I don't know what the other ones were, but I know that he definitely tried to speak on other like Chris Brown. What else? Who else? Oh my gosh. Usher. Oh boy.
I haven't anything from the 4th season, so I couldn't tell you about that.
It is okay. Like I didn't even fully finish it. Like I got the gist of it, because obviously like it was just an ongoing show in a way.
I heard it was just like really okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was really okay.
Coming out with another season, so I mean, I'll see.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm interested. I'm intrigued, and personally, I think that if he's gonna push that out, it's gonna have to be more than a season. Because if he's trying to knock out the stuff that's been going on, there has been a lot.
It has been. I can't even properly process information at this point. It's been so much happening.
I know. It's really sad. It's been easier to cry lately. Like just being,
I'm here. I'm alive.
Yeah. Yes, I'm here.
Perceive.
Right. I'm existing. I'm on, but technically I'm not.
That is what things have come to currently.
I know.
That's okay too.
It is okay, especially if we're, all feeling that. I've never, with this situation as bad as it is going, I've never felt alone fully. because I know it's like my friends feel that. It's like if I'm going through something, if I'm sharing it on Instagram, or if I'm telling one of you guys like, hey, I'm just not, they're just like same, and it's like, wow. You guys are my true friends.
If I'm going through it, you know, the first place I'm at is that little Twitter group chat.
I know.
If I'm gonna be in distress, then at least I'm gonna crack a couple jokes.
Right? And you know what? I will always be here, and I know that they'll be always there for you too. We love you so much.
Love all of you more than you will ever comprehend.
No, I I definitely think I'm gonna change this title. We didn't fully talk about being in the good place, but we definitely
like 15 minutes ago.
I know. Hey man, I love it
because it feels organic.
It does. It feels nice.
We had a plan one way and it went a different way, and you know what? That's just how it is.
It be like that, and I like it because all we are saying is true.
People don't think it be like it is, but it do.
I love that. I've never heard someone say that.
Ever heard that before?
No.
That's my favorite. Oh,
I am taking it.
It was probably a tweet or something, but somebody just tweeted that, and it was like, people don't think it be like it is, but it do, and I had to read it like 10 times. It is gold.
Literally comedy gold rich. That's what it is. That is true, rich, and it can't get more understanding than that, though. It can't.
Just perfectly sums up anything happening within like the last 7 months.
Listen, man, it has been going on for longer than that. I feel like I've been on this earth so long. I am exhausted. I am tired. This year felt like 3. Like, weren't this year? Weren't we talking about World War III?
That happened in like January. That was the beginning of the year. I mean, like, can I tell you something?
Yeah, of course.
Back in March, when quarantine was starting up, do you know where I was?
Where were you?
I was with the band in Virginia.
Oh, no.
So literally, and I want to go back to talking about the little show